You wake up, you look around, and you stretch your arms, you stretch your legs, and you turn over and look at your alarm clock. It's 2:43 a.m., and then you realize you're thirsty. So you get up out of your bed, and you go to walk into your kitchen. You start walking, and all of a sudden you realize it's dark, and you get this feeling or sensation that you're being stared at. So you rush into the kitchen, and you turn your lights on. You look around to see if anything's there. Has anyone else ever done this? Is it just me that has this feeling? Well, this feeling is called scopoesthesia, the psychic staring effect, and is a supposed phenomenon in which humans detect being stared at by extrasensory means. Why is it that we have this feeling, and am I the only one who has it? Well, according to science, we all have this feeling, and it's a completely normal thing. Our brains naturally can sense what is going on around us, even when we don't necessarily see it. Like, say, when it's dark, our brains can sense what's going on. We can see stuff, but our brain is making other stuff out of it, which is appealing to our imagination. And our eyes can take in more information than what is seen by our visual cortex. Our visual cortex is the part of our cerebellar cortex that receives and processes sensory nerve impulses from the eyes. They've done tests on people who are cortically blind, and the cortically blind means that they have lost sight due to brain damage, not eyesight. So their eyes still pick up information, except they don't see stuff, but it's still sending information to the brain. So they would get these pictures of people, and these people would either be staring in the pictures. People would be staring at them or staring away, and they put them in front of these people. And based on their reactions, they could tell if the person knew if they were staring at them or not, based on the reactions. So the first scientific studies known on this topic would be from Edward Titchener, a British psychologist. He was the first to arrive at this concept in 1898. His article is called "The Feeling of Being Stared At," which was published in Science magazines. All of his theories were difficult to prove because scopoesthesia is a psychological thing. It's something that's only in your mind, so it's hard to prove because it's the science world won't accept it because it's only in your mind, and they didn't really know how to prove it, especially at that time. But Titchener concluded that the effect may just be because you feel like your back is being stared at. So you start feeling anxious and you start to twitch around, which draws eye contact from the people around you. So when you turn around and look at them, they look at you because you're moving. So that's what they thought that was the reason for the longest time. Until in the early 2000s, around 2003, another scientist from America came, Rupert Sheldrake, and he held almost 30,000 trials on trying to figure this out. And he, with different people, and had a 54.7% accuracy rate on them actually being stared at. A 54.7%. That's pretty high. Some of the participants of his test were nearly always right, scoring way above chance levels. But the science world still did not take all this information because they said his patterns weren't random enough. They said that his test wasn't random enough. But his test, what they would do, they'd get two people, a pair, and they'd put a blindfold on one, and the other one would go 10 feet back. And they'd hit a buzzer, and the buzzer would go off, and then the person who had the blindfold on had to be able to say, was he being stared at or was he not, within 10 seconds. So the buzzer would go off, he would answer if he was being stared at, and then they would write it down. And they did this over 30,000 times. But although the science world never completely accepted his theory, it technically was never misproven and still intact today. It was never misproven because it's a psychological thing. It's something that's in our minds and that we just have a feeling of. That it's not for sure, and they still haven't proven it, and they're still doing research on it today. There can be there's other theories about it and stuff, but this is the one I chose. But since it's never been misproven, it's still intact and it's still used, and they're still trying to find other things, and they're still trying to find out more ideas to back this up. But to remind you, scopoesthesia is a psychic staring effect, which is and is a supposed phenomenon in which humans detect being stared at by extrasensory means. And this is literally my face when I feel like, or you're already past that slide.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Me when I think someone is staring at me, and she's getting it back on. That's how I feel, and it results in paranoia and other stuff. And I skipped that part, but that's all I have. And